Hey everybody, welcome back to Vibrations and Libations. I'm James.
And I'm Keith, red-faced.
Tonight we're going to do something a little different. We're going to drink some bourbon tonight. And while we're doing that, we're going to be listening to Pink Floyd. And the name of this album is?
Ummagumma.
Ummagumma. Not one of their most popular albums, but I like the album a lot. I think Keith likes the album a lot also. We have some notes here to talk about.
I think it made it as far as number 5 on the UK charts.
Yeah.
And it did pretty well in the US as well. But you know, their fans really liked it. But I think Pink Floyd later on didn't like it. They're like, nah, it sucks.
Right. Yeah. So this is their fourth album. Of course, Pipers at the Gates of Dawn was their first album, and then I just said Saucer Full of Secrets is their second album. Then they did a soundtrack for a movie called More. That is an excellent album. It's just, it's got some psychedelic, 60s, early 70s kind of sound to it. It's got some really good music on it. And a lot of Pink Floyd fans, I use that term lightly, don't even know about that album. Not that they haven't heard it, but, or heard of it, but they think that, it's not really Pink Floyd. I've heard some people say, well, Pink Floyd did the movie The Wall. Well, it's not Pink Floyd who actually did the movie.
Right.
They just did the soundtrack for the movie. But if you've never listened to that, that's an awesome album. Probably my second favorite Pink Floyd album.
More or The Wall?
More. Okay. More is my second favorite Pink Floyd album. Of course, Dark Side of the Moon is my favorite Pink Floyd album. But it's not, this album, Ummagumma, is not real popular with a lot of people. They don't know about it, or it's kind of different, and they don't really cling on to it. So
I would agree with that. It's not one you're just going to grab and when you're wanting to jam or anything like that. I mean, they have several albums with good grooves and everything on it, but Pink Floyd were real, like, progressive rock, extremely in the beginning, and actually their first album is my favorite Pink Floyd album. Piper at the Gates of Dawn is my favorite Pink Floyd album. I have nostalgia reasons for that, and also it's just a fantastic, fun album.
It is a fun album to listen to.
And but now I'm not setting it apart from like Dark Side of the Moon or Wish You Were Here, which are close seconds and thirds, and I couldn't even. They probably flop back and forth all the time for me.
Yeah.
But they're fantastic, and then The Wall is what it is. It's epic.
Yeah.
But I like all Pink Floyd albums, and Ummagumma included. First time I heard this was it was a couple of good friends, brothers. It was their father's album. Shout out to Tony Midkiff.
Yep, nice.
He's my neighbor, as a matter of fact, but it was his album first time I heard it, and I'll never forget it.
Right.
It's the perfect place to hear it up here on the hill.
Oh, it's the first time I heard it too.
Out in the woods of Fordsville.
Yeah. First time I heard it was up here. It's like I said, the perfect place to listen to it. So what else do we have on here as far as we've got notes here, so let's go over some of this, Keith, before we get into the bourbon.
So there's one disc is live.
Mm-hmm.
So it was recorded at 2 different locations, at Mother's Club in Birmingham, and then the College of Commerce in Manchester.
Right.
2 different shows. I think these 4 songs were in regular rotation, and those songs are, you can give the songs, James.
Those songs are Astronomy Domain.
Right.
And Careful What That Axe Eugene, which is on the live disc of this, is probably my favorite song on the live disc.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. It's awesome.
I would agree with that. I really like Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun as well. Of course, Astronomy Domain, it is, or is it Domine? I think it's a
It might be.
I think
it's not Domain. I don't know why I said that.
I think it's Domine, and it's on Piper at the Gates of Dawn. So it's the only song with lyrics on there.
Yeah, on that
As a
whole
matter of
disc,
fact,
yeah.
everything else is just instrumental.
Right, on the first
Now
record,
there's some screaming, yelling, and some light lyrics there, here and there, but Astronomy Domine is the only song with lyrics. And it's a song written by Syd Barrett, the original lead singer of Pink Floyd.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that as well.
Right, that's true. David Gilmour, the guitar player, took
Fantastic
over.
guitar player.
Awesome guitar player. Took over as vocals. Him and Waters, they shared vocal credits there. On most of the albums, I think they took turns. One thing that I find really awesome about this live footage, and live music. We've talked about this before. I mean, it seems live. It doesn't necessarily seem what's the word I'm looking for? Produced in a live environment. I mean, it just sounds like they're jamming at a live show, and then you hear the crowd and everything afterwards and stuff.
But it is amazing recording, though. I mean, it sounds so good. The sound engineer must have been phenomenal. I should have looked that up so we knew who it was.
It's okay. You can't do everything. Can't do it all. So then there's the second LP in this album set, and it's all studio footage. Why do I keep saying footage? It's all studio recorded music.
You're thinking of Live at Pompeii?
Yeah, Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii. If you've never seen that.
Man, you got to watch that because
great.
there's some of these songs are on there, Live at Pompeii. And especially Careful with That Axe, Eugene, it's on there. And Waters is kind of showing how he's going through it. It may even be the actual recording, it ain't because it's live.
Yeah.
But anyway, but he's going through making the song and everything. And I remember seeing that as a young fellow, thinking about how can that man scream like that?
Yeah,
He's
real
got
high pitch.
He's got a scream that sounds like an eagle.
Right. Yeah. So the tracks on the second LP are Sisyphus parts 1 through 4. That was by Richard Wright. Then Grantchester Meadows was by Roger Waters. That's a 7-minute, 26-second epic right there.
Yeah.
Several species of small furry animals gathered together in a cave and grooving with a pick.
And that's Waters as well.
That's also Waters, and that's probably the longest name of a song I've ever read.
It's the longest name in the Pink Floyd catalog.
Absolutely. The Narrow Way, that's parts 1 through 3. That's by David Gilmour. And then the Grand Vizier's Garden. Is that how you would say that? Garden Party. And then that's part 1, part 2, part 3. And that's by Nick Mason. So if you notice, as I read through all those, I said each one of the members, they each took a side of the album and did their own kind of solo.
Right. Well, half a side. It's one
half
album.
a side.
Right.
So they put their own little solo projects in on the album, which with a lot of Pink Floyd stuff, it was an experiment.
Right.
Just about every Pink Floyd album, I think, is just an experiment.
Right. And the guys, they didn't like it. I think Richard Wright said of his, it was so pretentious.
Yeah, and, I read that also
about Sisyphus.
Yeah.
And but it's great music.
It is. It is good music.
It's it's a good expression. Mm-hmm. It's good to hear everybody's own take on their own instrumental, but I mean they all go together. Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound out of place, and it just shows how in tune these guys were at the time.
Yeah, and I think, since they did their own thing, their solo stuff on there, in listening to this album a few times to get ready for this video, I've listened to it 1,000 times, but when you're going to actually be talking about it, you kind of, give it an extra couple of listens,
Right.
So what I also did after I listened to this was I listened to the album before, which is More, the soundtrack from the movie More, and then the album after, which is Atom Heart Mother. Mm-hmm. So if you take a listen to both of those two albums, the one before and the one after this, you kind of get some some of this album on the More soundtrack, and then they make this album, and then on Atom Heart Mother you get more of this, but it's kind of refined, maybe arranged a little bit better. And so I think this is kind of like a middle ground, you know. I mean, they're still fairly new to the scene, right, as far as you know, a rock group goes. And so, you know, they say, oh yeah, let's do this soundtrack. You know, that's something we haven't ever done before. And then they're like, well, let's try and do this kind of solo project, but kind of together, you know. And some of the stuff on here, the average kind of listen to the radio everyday Pink Floyd fan's not going to care for it.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Bit. Because I played this, I had it on CD for a few guys that I was sitting around with, and they, you know, yeah, I like Pink Floyd. Well, have you heard this Pink Floyd? And they thought I was a weirdo ever since. Probably to this day, those guys think I'm a weirdo.
And, you know, a lot.
They're right.
Nothing against, you know, the average Pink Floyd song that comes on the radio. Comfortably Numb, Wish You Were Here.
There he is screaming.
There's water screaming right there. But, you know, a lot of people don't know about Atom Heart Mother, which is another awesome album.
Right.
From start to finish, that's a great album. So, you know, if you're like, yeah, I like Pink Floyd, I like Another Brick in the Wall, that's an awesome song. Yeah, it's an awesome song. I'll give you that. But if that's all you like, you need to expand it out a little bit more, I think.
Oh yeah.
You know, you gotta do some expansion on the Pink Floyd, because there's a lot more shit out there to listen to.
I agree.
So.
And you guys know, if you guys are a fan of the show and you've watched them in the past, especially the Chris Robinson Brotherhood shows, you know I like to get out there, and this album is out there.
It is out there.
What do you got over there, James?
Okay, so the libations for the evening is Heaven Hill Old Style Bourbon, and it's bottled in bond. Now there's a story about the...
What is a bottled in bond?
Okay, so there's a story about the bottled in bond back years and years and years ago, like maybe, you know, 19th century bourbon being made, okay? It takes a long time to make a good bourbon. You know, it takes several years for you to make it, for it to age in the barrels and stuff. Well, people were getting, I guess, basically moonshine, and then they would add color to it, and they would add, you know, things to flavor it to make it taste like it had been aged. And so then they would sell that as an aged whiskey or an aged bourbon or whatever have you. And so the bottled in bond came about because of that. So the straight whiskey makers, the guys who were doing it legit, they come up and said, hey guys, lawmakers, you know, took all these other guys to court. It's like, we got to regulate this somehow, you know, because we're losing money doing it the right way.
Gotta have that cash.
You gotta have the cash. And these other people who are stealing all this business from us, they're putting out a poor product. You know, they're basically tricking people into thinking that they're getting a quality drink, and they're really not.
Right, it's just shit they're putting together.
Yeah.
And it can be all different kinds of stuff, but
Right.
It's not real. It's not the real stuff.
Not the real stuff. So
I know nothing about bourbon, so I'm just adding my little sprinkle bits in.
So after the government come in, they regulated this, and things, you know, the bottles were labeled bottled in bond. I think most of them had a green label that went over the cork.
Oh yeah.
To show.
Is that why the green writing on the label?
Yeah. I don't know if you can make that out or not, but there's green writing on the label, and any bottled in bond that I've ever seen has got some kind of green on it. I guess in that tradition of the green label that they would put over the cork or the stamp, it would be a green label, a green stamp, something like that.
I believe you.
Over the cork. So I'm going to pour a little bit of this, and honestly, I drank quite a bit of this last night, and we're going to drink out of these little dainty glasses because this is all I could find at my house to drink bourbon out of tonight. So, cheers to you.
I think it's important. I'm going to pour it. I'm not going to pour it all the way,
Just
James.
pour what you need. It's okay.
I think it's important to note that Keith, that's me, is not a fan of bourbon. At least I think I'm not a fan of bourbon. I think that's about a shot right there, and that's how you do bourbon. You want it down fast. You don't want to taste that shit. But there are bourbon fans out there that are sippers, and James is a bourbon fan.
I'm a sipper.
And he's a sipper, and I'm not a sipper. I'm a shooter, but I don't shoot bourbon. I don't drink bourbon unless it has Coke in it. We're gonna put some Coke in it.
Right.
That's how I'm gonna drink it. But tonight, for James and for you guys out there, I'm gonna learn how to appreciate bourbon, and this could be quite funny.
Okay, so the first tip I would give you,
Okay.
and this was the first tip I was given, is before you drink your whiskey or your bourbon, you need to smell it.
Smell it.
And the proper way to smell it would be to do that with your mouth open.
Okay.
So just go ahead and do that. So that hits you kind of in the nose and kind of in the mouth, right? This might be an interesting video, guys and girls.
All right.
Okay.
I smell some stuff.
So, okay, so can you... Okay, so you're probably getting a little bit of burn. You got a little bit of that alcohol smell there. Can you taste any of the wood?
It's not that bad.
Can you kind of taste the...
I don't taste anything because I haven't put it in my mouth, but
Okay, all right.
but I can. It's sweet.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, I got my wince out, my little, got past my gag reflex, wanting to throw up. And I seen you shiver.
Yep. No,
shimmer.
this will do it to you. I'm not going to necessarily...
So, I mean, it smells, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It smells, I do smell wood,
Mm-hmm.
and I smell, it's fruity though.
It's kind of...
Do you get that fruity?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm. It's
Bourbon
a little
drinkers,
sweet. It's a little sweet.
If you're a fan of Heaven Hill, even if you're not,
Mm-hmm.
is it woody? Is it fruity? That's it, fruity.
Fruity.
I think
So
I'm
let's
drunk
change this
already
over.
just smelling it.
Okay, so we flipped over the album. So we're again talking about the Heaven Hill bottled in bond here. Keith has been trying to get a good aroma.
Talking about fruity.
Fruity, talking about the fruiting. Okay, so have you tried it yet?
I haven't tried it yet.
Okay. Cheers to you.
So-
Don't shoot it.
So what?
Don't shoot it.
So don't shoot it, but get a sip, like an airy sip, like some people when they drink wine, they're like.
I wouldn't get too sophisticated about it. You know, it's bourbon.
Yeah,
It's whiskey. We're not pinky up or anything. You know,
Well, we do have
let's
these cute.
it's
very
all I
pretty
could find.
glasses.
It's all I could find. I'm sorry.
I mean, they
I'm
are
so
bourbon
sorry.
glasses, right?
I don't know.
This is it.
They're for drinking alcohol out of. That's all I know about it.
I don't know.
Let's drink it. Okay, so we got a Popeye over
The
here.
one eye shimmer.
Okay, so we're drinking this, no ice, no water, straight out of the bottle. While he's recovering over here. Some people will drink this with a splash of water. I mean, just bourbon in general. Some people like a splash of water. Some people like it with 1 cube of ice. Some people like it kept in a freezer. I like all of those ways. My favorite is just to drink it straight, just right out of the bottle. That's my favorite way of drinking. Don't mess with it.
So, I think we'll talk about. I'm watching you drink. You got a little sip there.
Yeah.
So when you drink beer or a stout, you're like throwing them back.
Turning it up, right?
With these, you're taking your time.
Right.
Is it because it's like ooh,
No.
or is
well,
it because you're appreciating it?
it's because I'm appreciating it. When I drink bourbon,
Are you telling the truth, James?
Yeah. When I drink bourbon, whiskey,
I'm
whatever.
holding him to the fire,
Right.
folks.
Right.
I got to get the truth out of a bourbon drinker.
Okay, so this is just my personal opinion. This is not, the Bible, the way it should be. This is just my personal opinion. I'll take a sip of it. I let it set on my tongue for just a second. And I swallow it. Once I swallow it, I still have that taste on my tongue. That flavor is still there.
I still got it. Like right now with the air coming in and everything,
Mm-hmm.
it tastes. Again, it is a fruity taste, but that wood flavor
Mm-hmm.
is there. But I don't know. It's not like licking a cabinet or anything
Right,
like that.
right.
But it's like I don't know. I know that flavor is like the wood smell. Like if you were fresh cut wood or something like that, it's very that's the fruitiness is more like a fruit wood flavor.
Yeah. And
is it bourbon aged in an oak barrel?
Well, this is unfortunately I don't know. I know it's charcoal filtered. I don't know if it's an oak barrel or not. Bad on James for not knowing that. But I will say this is not the smoothest of bourbons.
So
it's not smooth.
So now I've had bourbon that's supposedly smooth. Anybody telling you bourbon is smooth, their opinion of smooth is not the same as mine.
Okay, well, smooth is, it's not like you're drinking sweet tea smooth. It just has less of a burn going down kind of smooth. You still got that alcohol.
I'll agree with that.
You still have that burn, it's just not as prominent going down.
Okay, it's more smooth, but it ain't fucking smooth, people. Let's just cut that smooth shit out.
All right.
It's less smooth.
Less. Yeah. Okay, that's a new technical term. We're going to coin that.
What is it? What is a good bourbon, like top shelf bourbon? Because I've had one like Knob Creek. Is that like more top shelf?
Knob Creek, I like.
I've
it's
had
up
it,
there.
and I will say it is more smooth. But I one-eyed that shit just like this shit. It was more smooth, but that shit wasn't fucking smooth.
Right. My two personal favorites, and I say two because they're right there together in the top, is Eagle Rare. I like that. I think that's a really good sipping bourbon. And then also Blanton's.
Yeah.
Blanton's is, you're not going to beat it. Now, for the price, I like a bourbon called W.L. Weller.
Never had it.
Oh, it's really good. So it's made by the same people who make Buffalo Trace, who make Pappy Van Winkle. One eye over here. So, but for the price, you're not going to beat Weller. The problem with it, the problem with the Weller is that you're not going to find it in a whole lot of places because the whole, I will say, quote unquote, bourbon craze that's gone on here the past couple of years, kind of like vinyl. People have realized that it's a really good bourbon and it's not very expensive. So when they buy it or when they find it on a shelf, they buy up all they can. I know a guy who found a liquor store that had it and he bought 2 bottles just the other day and that was 12-year-old. Mm-hmm. And that's because it's just rare to find it. So if you can find W.L. Weller, that's a great whiskey a great bourbon to try. I actually finished off a half-gallon bottle of that last night before I got started on this.
Damn it, James.
I drank a lot of whiskey last night, so whatever.
So that's why you text me like 3 or 4 times.
Probably more than that. No, I text you so many times because of
the excitement.
The excitement that we have to share maybe later on in the week. So.
Yes, we have excitement.
Okay, so, if you don't, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't drink the rest of it.
I'm going to drink the rest of it, but I'm probably not going to sip it.
All right. Well, you do what you got to do with it then.
I'm going to put it away because, and I will drink bourbon anytime James suggests it on the show. And I will tell you my honest opinion of it.
We'll have to do some more, yeah.
Because, I'm that kind of guy.
Awesome.
I'm willing to take one for the team. And you non-bourbon drinkers out there, this is for you. I'm holding up your end of it, Yeah, don't let anybody tell you you're not manly because you don't drink bourbon now.
Right.
I mean, fuck that shit.
Drink a stout.
Drink a stout. Don't let anybody tell you you're not manly because you don't like stout. Don't let anybody tell you you're not manly because you only like Bud Light. I mean,
I think the whiskey's hitting them hard. Yeah. Okay, so 1 out of 5 shots. What do you give him? The Heaven Hill Bottled in Bond. I'll also add, this is a still at $13 a bottle, where we found it at. A friend of mine bought this for me, actually. Shout out to Brian Russell for the gift of the bourbon here on this bottle.
Brian Russell.
So 1 to 5 shots. What are you going to give it?
1 to 5 shots.
Wait. Let's do this a little different. 1 to 5 sips.
So
1 out of 5 sips.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I've tried Buffalo Trace, and I've tried Knob Creek, and I've tried Fighting Cock and Wild Turkey used to be the drink of choice for getting slammed. Used to drink it straight out of the bottle. That's probably what ruined me on bourbon. I don't know.
Okay, so
would I mix it with Coke? Yes.
Yes.
I would mix this
I'll do
with
that
Coke
too, yeah.
at Christmas time because that's when I drink bourbon mixed with Coke, and because it makes me feel warm and fuzzy.
So you would try it again?
I would. I mean, I'll buy this, but I'll probably buy Buffalo Trace first because it's only $9, $10.
Really?
Yeah.
You're finding that for a steal then?
Yeah.
For a fifth?
Yeah, for a fifth.
Really?
It's only $10.
Really?
Yes.
I'll have to go where he's shopping at because I like Buffalo Trace too. If I get it for $10, I'm buying that every day, and probably needing to buy it every day.
Maybe I'm saying the wrong one. Maybe it's something else, but I think it's like the Van Winkle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In that family there.
It's it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
All right.
But Jared McDonald, shout out, said cheap stuff, buy it and drink it.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it and I sipped it because he's a bourbon guy. He's a good friend of mine, and told him he was wrong. Anyway, it mixes well with Coke.
Okay, so I would rate this a 3 for bourbon that I've had. Of course, I've not had every bourbon in the world, every whiskey in the world, but from what I've had, I would rate this a 3. I would like for it to be a little bit smoother.
More smooth.
More smooth.
He said smoother. Yeah.
It does have a bit of a burn, but for the price, you're not going to beat it. I mean, it's unless you can find Buffalo Trace for $9 or $10 like Keith here. So if you find that, then that's the deal of the decade right there, I think, for bourbon.
How much do you pay for Buffalo
Probably
Trace?
$25.
It must not be the same shit.
We'll have to investigate that a little bit more. All right, so back to the album. What else we got to talk about the album?
I didn't rate this.
Oh well, go for it.
I just don't know enough about bourbon. I'm gonna give it a 2.
It's going to give it a 2. Okay.
Just because
I'll allow it.
it's as good as every bourbon I've ever had.
So you don't like one over another?
Nostalgia, I like Wild Turkey,
Wild Turkey,
but I have a tradition that I usually buy. Last year was the first year I didn't buy Wild Turkey for New Year's. I had Buffalo Trace, and because it's cheap.
I always buy a Wild Turkey for New Year's.
If that's the right stuff, but for years it was Wild Turkey every New Year's. Drink Wild Turkey.
Right.
But last year it was Buffalo Trace.
So it's good to expand out.
Wild Turkey's about $20 a bottle.
Yeah.
Has been, I think it's $21.99 now. But anyway, this stuff is down the hatch.
Okay, and there it goes. Oh man, he might have to call in for work tomorrow. So Donnie Alvey, if he's not there tomorrow, you know why. So.
It's just one shot.
It looks kind of rough on you.
It is rough on me.
Before I forget about it, there's something else I've got to say. Make this video just a little bit longer. So on our last video, we said if we got to 70 subscribers, we would give a t-shirt away. I forgot all about this.
Oh, fantastic.
So we got to 70 subscribers. I think now we're up to 83.
Oh, yeah.
82, 83.
Oh,
one of those.
We shot the 70. It was only 3. We were at 67.
Yeah.
We're not overly ambitious, folks.
Right.
We 67. We said if we get to 70, we will we'll give away a t-shirt.
Right.
And we got to 70 within 24 hours.
Yeah.
It was like the biggest jump in subscribers we've had since the beginning.
Yeah.
When we had a lot of friends, a lot of family coming on there, but I think we left the friends and family behind about 20-something subscribers.
I think so.
And then the rest of you guys are just people who have nothing better to do, obviously.
Right.
But we hit the 70 within 24 hours. My son, who is on the channel on the Vibrations Libations Junior, the Yellow Submarine episode, the smaller version of James, the guy that warned all of his buddies about James, he picked a number between 1 and 20, or 1 and 70, I think,
One in 70,
is
right.
what we did, and he picked like 21 was what he picked, and
so the winner, the subscriber DJ Trish, I've got that T-shirt in the mail for you. It took me a little bit to get that out, but it's in the mail, so you should be getting that sometime this week, hopefully. If you don't get it, then message me back. We'll figure out what happened with it. But your T-shirt's in the mail.
Where's DJ Trish from?
DJ Trish is from New Jersey.
Yeah, I just
So,
said like
heading
20 something is not friends and family. We don't know DJ Trish,
No,
but
we
she
do not.
was
No.
number 21 on the list, and we don't know her, but
Right.
fantastic that she was the one that won,
Mm-hmm.
and we're ecstatic that, you know,
Yeah.
some stranger is going to be wearing our product.
Right. So, to everybody else who watches the channel, thanks for wasting your time with us. Again, you know, you don't have anything else better to do than sit around and watch two guys drink beer and whiskey and talk about old records. So, thanks a lot for
And
wasting
new
your
records,
time.
we
with us.
talk
And
about
new
new
records.
shit.
And new records too.
The
Yeah,
Greta
you're
Van
right.
Fleet is
Yeah.
our most popular.
Over 2,000 views. Thanks
Yeah.
a lot, guys, for that. That's
Hey,
awesome.
thanks a lot to Greta Van Fleet. We rode their wave, we sat on their coattails,
Yeah.
and they drug us into success.
So if you are in a band who's going to make it real popular and you want us to drag on you, that's fine.
Yeah,
Just let us know.
we'll hold on, we'll ski right
We will.
behind you.
We will. So we're probably going to be doing another giveaway in the very near future. We're waiting on some.
Listen up, Chris Robinson Brotherhood fans.
Yeah. We're waiting on some stuff. Do the kids call it swag these days? Is that what they call
Swag,
it?
we got some swag.
So anyway, we got some stuff coming, and once that comes in, we'll, you know, of course, we'll feature that on a video. We'll give a shout out to who it's coming from. I don't necessarily want to give out anything just yet. Let's get it all in first.
Yeah, we'll do a special episode,
Right.
probably.
But the freaks will like it. So
we'll just talk about the giveaway stuff, and we'll probably have some music playing.
yeah. Right.
Anyway, we're forgetting something.
What else are we forgetting?
We're forgetting something very important, James.
I forgot. I don't
It's
know.
half the show, James.
Rating the album?
Yes.
Okay, so let's rate the album. What do you rate the album, Keith?
I'll give it a 3.5.
3.5. I'll give it a 3.5 also. Again, like I said earlier, if you listen to the Moore soundtrack and you listen to Adam Hart Mother, this album goes in between. You're going to hear a little bit of the starting of this album in the Moore soundtrack and then a more refined version in Adam Hart Mother, I think. So Pink Floyd fans who maybe haven't listened to some of their older stuff, those who are, you know, on The Wall, those who are on Dark Side of the Moon, that's great. That's good, great stuff to start out on. But there's a lot more in the catalog that you're missing out on. So I rate this one a 3.5. I think I'd rate the live album individually a 4.
Yeah.
Just because it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's an awesome recording and everything, and I give it a 3.5 simply because I love it, but I have to be in the mood for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, if it's a good, beautiful day, especially a fall day, something about fall, it may have been the time of year when I first heard it or something like that, but it just goes well with being outside, being in the woods. I can put it on, go out front of the cabin here, and be with nature with it.
Yeah.
Especially several animals grooving with the pick.
However that song.
Small furry animals. I can't say the whole title.
Yeah, right. I
Just
can't
like Pink, can't even think of their names.
the whiskey got 'em.
Yeah, it's got me.
Another thing, the album cover itself. We forgot to mention that.
Oh, the album cover is stellar. It is, as you can see, there's a infinity mirror kind of effect going on, but each band member changes places. David Gilmour, Roger Waters, I think that's Wright and Mason
in the background.
in the background, and then they all and there's Waters, Mason, or Wright, Mason, and then Gilmour in the back, and they all rotate around and
it just keeps going back
further
and further as you look.
Each prominent
into
person
this.
is a different person, and
Right.
and it's badass. And I think it's important to note that on my cover is not an original,
Nor is mine.
because it's this album. There's an album down here, and it's blank. And the original, the Gigi, the album Gigi is in the floor and
Right.
in every subsequent photo there.
Yeah.
But it's a cool cover, very cool.
My favorite Pink Floyd cover.
Mine as well.
Awesome.
Except for I really like Piper's cover too.
You like Piper's cover? Animals got a good cover too.
Yeah,
But
Animals does it.
I like this one the best.
So
Okay, so we've rated our drink. We've rated the album. Anything else to add?
nothing I said, James.
All right, you guys, thanks for watching again. We appreciate all the support, all the views, all the subscribers. Please feel free to check us out on Facebook and on Instagram, and like and share and comment. We really appreciate comments. So do all of those things for us. We would appreciate it, and we'll keep making more videos if you guys keep watching. So
We do love the comments because we're active in the comments,
Yeah.
and the Greta Van Fleet comments are fantastic.
right, yeah.
Every comment's fantastic. We got a lot of good comments.
Yeah, we do. So a lot of good viewers. We appreciate all your guys' support. So thanks a lot. Until next time, I'm James,
And I'm Keith.
and we appreciate you watching.
Keep
Thanks.
rocking. It was more smooth, but that shit wasn't
Right.
fucking smooth.
Right.